Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm really just struggling to figure out what the crimes actually were. David Yates and J.K. Rowling pick up where they left off from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and now we have The Crimes of Grindelwald. Now, the movie's a mess. It really is. It's way too long. The story is really, really slow, and it goes in a whole bunch of different directions. Now, it's not all terrible, but overall, it's just not very good. You have some really good performances by the characters, and some of it you can't really blame on them. It's just the script and the dialogue of what they were given. It's just kind of flat. Their characters don't really do too much. When it was first announced that Johnny Depp would be returning as Grindelwald, everybody's up in arms and they just, oh my gosh, no, he's not a good choice. Get rid of him or whatever. And I didn't totally understand that. And in this, he's just okay. He's not really a bad guy. I mean, he's playing a bad guy, but you just kind of go, okay. When in the Harry Potter movies, when Voldemort comes on, you know he's the bad guy. I mean, you feel him as the bad guy, even though he has charisma. And this, Grindelwald is just kind of there. And unfortunately, that's how a lot of the characters are too, that they're flat, that we don't see a lot of growth, even from the first movie. I think probably the only one that we do see a little bit is Eddie Redmayne playing Newt Scamander. Because in the first movie, he is so timid and he plays it with just this I crush into myself because that's how he seemed. He mumbled through half of his lines because he's playing it timidly. And it worked, but it was annoying. In this one, he at least has a little bit more confidence. And so when he's acting and when he's speaking outright a little bit. We get to hear his voice some more. Ezra Miller returns as Credence, and in this he's kind of flat too. And actually, I don't think he really had a lot of screen time and didn't really do too much when he was on there. He's just kind of brooding the entire time. And I was disappointed because we saw some bad guy potential in him from the first movie. And now into this, he's just okay. And I think the Fantastic Beasts series kind of suffers from what the Hobbit series did. I mean, you have The Lord of the Rings, which is just this phenomenal set of films, and everybody loved it, and it was just cinematic history. And then you have The Hobbit, and while it's still a good story, the movie kind of fell a little flat, like there's just too much going on, or it's taking too long to get to the point. And I feel kind of like that's how Fantastic Beasts is. Harry Potter, the series, was amazing, and it was great. Now, I know not everybody loves it, but I thought it was just fantastic. I mean, the first two really stick well to the book, but they're a little slower. And then as the series progresses, it just gets more and more compelling and more exciting. And then you have Fantastic Beasts. And this series, it's not as good. Just overall, it's just kind of like, it's all right. I mean, it's somewhat entertaining, but I feel like they're trying to either do too much or they're trying to milk it or something like that just, you know what? I don't think you're respecting us as an audience. We want a really, really good story. Now, David Yates did a really good job of portraying and giving us beautiful scenery to look at. But I think part of the problem is he used too much of it. We could have cut out a whole lot of different things throughout the movie, shorten it down a little bit, maybe summarize some stuff with a little bit of dialogue versus a whole lot of dialogue, trim this movie down to under 2 hours, and it would have been great. If I have to sit through more than 2 hours of drudgery, I'm not engaged anymore. And it makes me curious that, do I really want to see the next installment? I don't know, it's going to be a tough sell. Because it's in the title, we do get to see a few Fantastic Beasts. I don't know if they're actually fantastic, but we get to see some beasts. Niffler is back, so that was kind of cool. He's funny. I think he's the best little character or beast that has come from this, because he's cute. He's got that dog sensibility to him, but also maybe some lovability of a cat as well. And then I don't even know what he is. It looks like kind of like a platypus and a mole all smashed together. But he's great. He has no speaking parts. It's not like it's a real character. It's all CGI, but I enjoyed him. And I enjoyed some of the characters too. I mean, you have Zoe Kravitz, who did a good job. Jude Law did a good job. Johnny Depp did a good job for what he has. But again, you take all of them, and the story itself was just not that good. There's no sex or nudity. There might be a tiny bit of profanity, and then there's wizard violence. I mean, it's not like there's any blood or guts or anything like that. I mean, people, disapparate or whatever, and they turn to dust and ash or whatever. So there you go for that as far as family friendly. But really, it's not family friendly because it's it's just so stinking boring. I give Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald 2 out of 5 couches. Are you a fan of the Harry Potter series? Tell me what your favorite Harry Potter film is. I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.